JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 15th of October 2020. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Thursday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimers. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yep, feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. Now then, jumping into the chart. Now the first one I want to pick up here is on Nikkei 225. As always, you can see that this is what I was mentioning yesterday. Basically, for now, it seems that Nikkei is, yes, correcting lower a little bit. It's still trading above this 21-day EMA shown as the yellow line. So in a way, we could maybe consider this as a little short-term bullish flag here. But overall, there could be a bit of a different picture here. At the moment, it seems like that this index could be forming a possible rising wedge here. However, it's not an ideal one, to be honest, because we do have a bit of a gap here. So probably don't really focus on it too much. But maybe just keep it in the back of your head somewhere. For now, probably let's keep it short and simple. If the price continues to balance above this 21-day EMA or above this short-term upside support line taken from the low of 31st of July, then yes, there is still a chance for this index to continue moving further north. At the moment, we are seeing this correction. This is what we're taking it at the moment as. But as I said, if it continues to trade above the 21-day EMA or this upside support line, then yep, we could see a nice reversal and a push higher again. If you're more on the cautious side, wait for a break above the current highest point of October near the 23,725 zone. A nice good pop above it would confirm a forthcoming higher high, but then of course be very careful near this this upper side of the potential kind of rising wedge pattern. But again, like I said, at the moment it's a bit of a tentative one. So if we do get a nice strong move above this 23,725 zone, then yes, we'll aim for some higher levels. But and if it manages to overcome the upper side here of this potential wedge pattern, then yes, of course, higher levels here could be met. We could continue aiming for the for these levels here, and let me just quickly put that on the chart. That's what we're going to be looking for, the 23,995 zone here, marked by the high of the 6th of February. So again, keep your eyes on this one. If you're looking for some downside here, well, and not until we see at least a break of this upside line and a drop below this low of the 7th of October near the 23,272 zone, and then yes, we could consider maybe a bit of a decline here towards slightly lower areas, and one of which could be this one, the 22,951 zone, or it could continue sliding towards the low of the 28th of August near the 22,595 territory. So, but again, for now, it's the downside is slightly off the table unless it's a little correction. Now jumping into Shanghai Composite. Now here I've mentioned this idea yesterday that what the Shanghai Composite here could be doing, it might be forming a possible bullish flag. And this is what I was saying yesterday, that if today's candle will be somewhat like this, like unchanged, I would say, then yes, this could be a nice potential bullish flag, possibly leading to some higher levels. But again, first, in order to aim for those higher levels, at least a push above this 3,350 territory would be needed. Of course, then we'll keep an eye on the current highest point of this week here near the 3,361, but yep, a nice good pop above that as well could increase the chances for the Shanghai Composite to continue pushing further north. But at the moment, like I said, keep your eyes on this potential bullish flag pattern here. But we cannot really kind of, let's say, fully rely on it until we get a nice pop here above this 3,350, or even better, the 3,361 territory right here. So in terms of the downside, if it suddenly starts falling below the 21-day EMA and then breaks below the 3,280 territory, now this is where lower levels here could be met. The German DAX, and here the index remained up in the territory above the 13,000 mark, so that's in a way good news for the buyers. However, the index slid, the cash index, the German DAX cash index slid lower during the US session. So and if we look at the cash index right now and where it's currently balancing at, we can see that the price is roughly around the 12,900 zone. So basically it's below that 13,000 mark, and it's near the 21-day EMA shown as the yellow line. This is what I was talking about this week, where I was saying that if we get that strong, good break and a drop below this 13,000 zone, then yes, further declines here could be possible, but only up until this upside support line taken from the low the 25th of September. Now, if you excuse me. Now, if you look, then we don't have much space here. So, in a way, if this upside line will be ready to hold again, then we don't have much room for the downside. So we just kind of probably somewhere maybe somewhere around the 12,890 or 80, even something like that. So again, it's going to be quite an interesting one, especially if, like I said, looking at this short-term upside line. If it holds, then yes, wonderful, good news for the buyers. We could see this one reversing back up, but this time, personally, I would like to see a push at least back above the 13,000 mark in order to get a little bit more excited with the upside. In terms of the downside, preferably a drop not below this level here, but below this little territory right there, the 12,842 is marked somewhere around here. That's marked by the high of the 5th of October and the low of the 7th of October. So a nice good drop below it may open the door towards the lower areas, guys. So that's why I'd be very careful today. Let's see. There is a good chance that we might see this upside line getting tested today. So let's see if it's going to hold or not. Jumping into silver, silver continues to balance above this little short-term upside support line taken from the low, the 24th of September. So in a way, still the bulls are trying to fight it, trying to keep the price afloat here. But again, at the moment, this little kind of pattern here, it doesn't really look very bullish. However, we cannot really talk about the downside until we get that break. So in a way, yes, maybe this little pattern does look a little bit more bearish. Still, that confirmation break below this upside line is required. If you want to look at some higher levels, I'll get to the same point again, that I would prefer to see a push above this 25.24 zone in order to consider higher areas. For the moment, it's a bit of a tricky one, so probably I'm going to take a bit of a neutral stand here. And as I've mentioned to you guys previously, if you're a bit more on the cautious side, you could also wait for a drop below the 22.89 territory here, marked by the low of the 6th of October, and then yep, we could consider lower areas, because at the same time the price would be placed below the 100-day EMA here. Now jumping into WTI oil and looking at this beautiful move here to the upside yesterday, the commodity kind of got back to its 200-day EMA and closer to this key resistance area near the 41.46 zone. So I've mentioned this one in my previous videos, that in order to aim for some higher levels, yep, a break above that barrier here is needed. So at the moment we're not really getting that break, so we're very close but not yet a break. Let's first of all wait for it, and ideally actually also not only a break but also a nice daily close would do the trick here for more buyers, because what we don't want to see here is just a false breakout. In terms of the downside, well, I mean, previously I talked about this area, this 38.74 zone. At the moment, to be honest, yes, one of those potential levels here after a break of which we could consider slightly lower areas, yes, could remain this 38.74 zone, but we could already start looking at some downside if we get a drop below the 39.07. And by the way, the downside, what I'm talking about here is could be a bit of a short-term one, because we can see that the commodity is still trading above this little short-term tentative, of course, upside support line taken from the low the 9th of September. So that's why, again, for now, it's a bit of a tricky one here. So it's closer to this key resistance barrier. So let's see if it's going to get, if that's going to get broken or not. Quick update on Ripple. Ripple declined, but remained above, not only above the this downside resistance line which it broke recently, but also above the 21-day EMA, shown as the yellow line here. And you can see that we did get these little overshoots here. Even today as well, we did get this a drop lower, where the downside line got tested, and it kind of acted as a good support area this time. But like I said, the price also kind of climbed back above this 21-day EMA. So in a way, there is a good chance still for this one to move higher. Previously I talked about the 0.2550 territory, but given that it has a lot has shifted already, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep an eye on this barrier, the area around the 0.26 mark. A nice good pop above it may open the door towards a higher level. So if you want to be a little bit more on the cautious side, yes, wait for a break above this level, and then yes, higher levels, potentially higher levels could be met. In terms of the downside, if this downside line gets broken, then yes, the crypto may move a little bit to the downside here, but still all eyes are going to be on this upside support line taken from the low the 13th of March, where the crypto might get a little hold up. Now if this upside line gets broken and the price falls somewhere below the 0.2288 zone, then this is where could turn out to be a little bit more ugly for more buyers. AUD CHF. Now I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, but yes, as you can see, this is moving beautifully within this nice descending triangle pattern. Of course, as we know, according to all the TA rules, these patterns tend to be more bearish than bullish. So but again, we cannot really talk about the downside unless we see that break here below the 0.6493 territory. A nice good drop below it, yep, would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and further declines here could be possible. So that's why for now probably we'll play a bit of a waiting game here. We are at a very interesting spot, so if we do get that drop here below this area, then yep, further declines here could be possible. Now in case of this one reversing sharply to the upside, of course all eyes are going to be on this upper side of the descending triangle. But now previously I talked about the 0.6617 territory, but now probably, given that it's shifted a little bit more to the north, it might even be one of these levels here, the 0.6593 zone, break of which, yep, would kind of strengthen the upside scenario here, and yep, we could then start looking at some higher levels. But at the moment, it is where it is. It's currently near this lower side of the descending triangle. Let's see if we can get a nice break here to the downside. Speaking about a break of the downside, I've mentioned AUD CAD yesterday, and look at this beautiful move today, and we are seeing this nice break below the 0.9392 territory, and yep, this is the lowest point of September, by the way. So in a way, the pair continues to trade below this downside line taken from the high of the 21st of September, and all this is looking quite bearish here for AUD CAD. So let's see if it can stay here below this area. The break just happened this morning, so let's see if for the remaining of the day here, this pair can stay below this 0.9392 zone. If it can, then yes, the next target here is this 200-day EMA together with this 0.9271 zone marked near the lows of the 15th of June and the 22nd of June. Now jumping into USD JPY, here the pair is, to be honest, it seems that it doesn't know what it wants to do. Yes, it drifted below this 105.30 territory. I spoke a lot about this level because what I'm saying, that wait for a break below this area in order to consider lower areas. At the moment, you can see that we're having a bit of a reversal here again, but the resistance is happening exactly at that level. So it's showing that, it's proving actually that this 105.30 territory is an important one to watch, and in a way, if the rate struggles to get back above it, then yes, this could result in another round of selling, potentially dragging this one further south. To be a little bit more on the safe side, what you could do here is keep your eyes on the current lowest point of this week near the 105.04 territory, and then yes, aim for further declines if you, like I said, if you want to be a little bit more on the careful side. Now, jumping into GBP USD, the pair reversed nicely to the upside yesterday, pushed back above that psychological 130 zone, and today it's kind of just oscillating around that level for now, of course. Now, previously I talked about this 1.30 zone and saying that if we see the rate getting back above it, then yes, of course, it increases the chances for this pair to move higher. But recent activity here, this week's activity, showing that well, the pair found some resistance near this 1.3083 zone. So in a way, just to be maybe a little bit more on the cautious side, a push above this would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and yes, we could start looking at some slightly higher levels. But again, at the moment, it's a bit of a difficult one because the pair is oscillating around this 130 zone. So it's yeah, it's at the moment, even with the downside, we cannot really talk about the downside until we see at least a drop below this 1.2868 zone here, which, as you can see, acted as a very nice area of support even this week, not to mention the week before that. So so this level here, this 1.2868, could be an interesting one to watch, especially for the sellers, and because this could also, if on a break of this level, this could also place the pair below the 100-day EMA, and maybe more sellers could see this as a good opportunity to step in, at least drive this one towards this medium-term upside support line taken from the low of the 18th of May. Although this is a bit of a tentative upside line, and nevertheless, for now, I'm going to keep it on the chart just to see if we actually going to get that third rebound from it. But again, we'll consider that idea if we get a drop below this 1.2868 zone. EURUSD, now this one is quite an interesting one. As you can see, I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, but some of these levels did continue to play out nicely. So first of all, this arrow needs to get shifted back here. in a way the same game plan remains, because what I need to see here is a nice good pop above this 1.6586 territory marked by the high of the 12th of June. You can see that here, for example, in September, this barrier did act as a good resistance area again. So if we do get a push above this this barrier, this 1.6586, then yes, this is where it could become a little bit more interesting for more buyers, because such a move would confirm a forthcoming higher high. In terms of the downside, now previously I spoke about this area, this 1.6340 area, not exactly that level, but this area around it, because what I can do here is let me just put this one on the chart here. So basically this is the area that kind of kept the rate from falling lower, and if we do get a drop below this, now this is where, yes, we could consider a bit of a decline, but at the moment the pair is pushing nicely to the upside. So let's see if we can reach, first of all, if we can reach this 1.6586 zone, and then second, let's see if we can break that, because if that gets broken, now this is where it could become a little bit more interesting for more buyers. And finally, EURUSD. So the same kind of idea, the same game plan remains still in play. I remain neutral on this one, because again, at the moment it's a bit of a tricky one from the short-term perspective, of course, because as you can see, we're stuck between these two levels in a way, the 1.18 zone and the 1.17 area. So at the moment, again, it just continues to move around its 21-day EMA, not showing any clear short-term direction. So if we do get a drop below this 1.1696 territory, then yes, we could maybe consider maybe a bit of a decline here. However, if by any chance this pair reverses sharply back up here and travels above this 1.18 territory, or even the 1.1831, then yes, we could consider maybe the next up move here. But at the moment, it is where it is. It's not really doing much, so we're sitting here and waiting for it to make a break, at least through one of these levels that I just mentioned. So guys, I really hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and I really appreciate your time joining in. If you want to catch my video later on, my trader's tea time is always at 13:15 GMT. For now, guys, I hope you have a wonderful trading day. Stay safe, and I'll see you later. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.